Welcome back to Takeout. Yep, still at the tavern. I love it. Political panel time. Democratic strategist Kurt Bardella, Republican strategist Erin Maguire. They co-host, by the way, Party Lines podcast. Isn't that fun?
We do. We do.
So, we clearly don't spend enough time.
Already on party animals.
All right. Graphics department, bring these up. How much do the Republicans have overall for the midterms? Republicans, if you do not count the MAGA super PAC, 607.1 million cash on hand. Democrats, across all their various committees, 226.3. That's a huge difference. Oh, wait a minute. Let's add in the MAGA super PAC. That's another 400 million. Look at those numbers. 1.05 billion to 226.3. Kurt? What do you think of that?
The one thing I want to point out, and these are about like the DCCC, the NRCC, but when you look at who's gotten the most money campaign-wise, actual individual campaigns, Democrats are outperforming Republicans in the top 25 contested seats.
So the candidates raise themselves for their own campaigns.
That's right. And the grassroots movements on those campaigns are actually outperforming by far what the national parties are doing, which frankly isn't surprising to me when you look at the Democratic Party brand. Let's just be honest real quick. The organizing Democratic Party brand is not popular with the Democratic Party base. After what we saw with the 2024 election, the idea that Democrats, donors would be
going to funnel a bunch of money into that decision-making apparatus.
They're going to send it to the districts and the candidates they support.
Erin, fair point?
I think that is a fair point, and I think the counter to that is the question for Republicans. That is $1 billion roughly sitting in outside entities. How are they going to spend? What are they going to spend? There was reporting today that the White House political team, the senior team, James Blair, Susie Wiles, Tony Fabrizio, the pollster, all got together today to have another conversation about messaging and about midterms and how they plan to spend that money. Because Trump's very good at raising money. He's been the best that Republicans have ever seen. The question for Republicans is always, great, you've got it. How are you going to spend it?
And when are you going to start?
When are you going to spend it? Because right now,
in the second quarter, they spent nothing for any.
And if I was them,
campaigns are always good at spending good money after bad. They're not known for efficiency or spending money smartly.
Right. I mean, look, if I was Senator Susan Collins right now, in the time where you've had the Democrat fall apart, completely in disarray, I would have absolutely moved some reservation money up and forward to get pro-Susan ads on air aggressively right now, because you've got a desert of information. Why wouldn't you be like, let's go, get aggressive.
And define the campaign on your terms before Democrats can organize.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do a dramatic reading here because this Atlantic profile of Mark Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Mark Leibovich, my buddy Mark Leibovich wrote this one.
He did. And Mark does terrific work. He's been on the show before. But this profile of Mark Kelly and his wife, Gabby Giffords, we all remember Gabby Giffords as a member of Congress doing an outreach event in Tucson, shot, nearly killed. But here's an anecdote, unlike any anecdote I've ever read in any political profile in my entire career, which is more than 40 years. Way too long, I agree. Here, listen to this. After she was shot, doctors performed an emergency craniectomy on Giffords, removing a large portion of her skull to reduce pressure on her swelling brain. Kelly asked the doctor what would happen to the original chunk of the bone. It will go in the incinerator, the doctor told him. And I was like, Gabby's in a coma right now. I think she might want it. That's what Mark Kelly said. It goes on. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. We stuck it in the freezer, Kelly told me. In a Tupperware container. They still have it too. Next to the turkey, Kelly said. I thought this might be a joke, but it was not, Mark Leibovich writes. Kelly seemed to notice me looking perhaps slightly taken aback. Slightly? It's not in the freezer we use every day, he clarified. It's a separate freezer. What?
The special skull freezer. You
what?
It's not with the ice cream. Everyone,
what?
Down,
Are you like when I say, ladies and gentlemen, I've never come across an anecdote like that in 40 years of reading.
That's a spouse looking out for his partner, knowing what she would have wanted. Like, I'm not going to get rid of your skull. You might want to keep this.
Do you think your wife would do that? She'd want
absolutely not. That would not be in the freezer or near the popsicles.
I think my husband
Are you kidding me?
I think my husband would want it. And my only similar thing is when I grew up riding horses, I had a horse that had bone chip removal surgery, and they asked me if I wanted to keep the bone chips. And I was like, you know what? No, thank you so much, but I appreciate the offer.
I mean, Connor would want to keep your skull and study it for science, perhaps.
Well, study's not worth it.
So let's just say when this week began, I was not expecting to be discussing here at the tavern bone chips or skull fragments.
That's why we have alcohol.
In political profiles. Quickly, because we haven't gotten to this yet, and it's interesting. There's an August 11th primary in Wisconsin for governor on the Democratic side, and has been completely upended in the last week. So the lieutenant governor, Sarah Rodriguez, looking good, front runner. Massive campaign finance scandal that she uncovers or is uncovered underneath her nose, and she drops out. Milwaukee County executive, these are not names you're familiar with, but they matter. David Crowley jumps back in, immediately gets the endorsement of Tony Evers, the sitting governor, outgoing governor, and the establishment. But State Representative Francesca Hong, the progressive, still looks like she has the inside track. Hurt?
Yeah, what you're seeing here is what I call the Graham Plattner effect. All of a sudden, Democrats in a lot of different places, Michigan, Wisconsin, are going, these far-left candidates may not cut it outside of New York City or California, and if we allow them to take these nominations in places like Michigan, in places like Wisconsin, we will lose those seats. We will not be gaining ground. We'll be losing ground. And in one of the most favorable electoral environments you could possibly ask for, Democrats are close to snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. So they're trying to run more establishment candidates. I know establishment's a bad word, but trying to run
they got
candidates.
They've got a very short window to try to do that. Erin?
Well, also, when you look at Wisconsin, Crowley coming back into this race between Mandela, Barnes here, he's almost like a killjoy here because he's taking away the votes, splitting that, which is going to make Hong stronger in the long run, not weaker. And Wisconsin is a purple state, but it has a progressive base and has for decades. You can go back to Scott Walker, Act 10, taking over the Capitol in 2011 when people moved in for months in Wisconsin. So this is a purple state at its core. I've done multiple cycles there. Yep. I think Hong right now is still the favorite to win.
Yeah. You look at why Hillary lost in part in Wisconsin in 2016. It's because Bernie Sanders' voters stayed home.
They did. Erin Maguire, Kurt Bardella, enjoy the tavern. You're always welcome.